Should kids be banned from using social media? It's a massive debate. The truth is, the platforms can have a negative effect on children. But would a ban be over the top? Also on the show, the European Union is creating a digital twin of the Earth. What's the reason for this, and how can a digital twin help us make smart decisions? And will learning with virtual reality be the future? VR makes it possible to go on virtual school trips to ancient cities in history class or conduct dangerous experiments in science. Could this be a realistic option for schools? These are the topics that are moving the tech world. TikTok? Access denied. YouTube? Access denied. Snapchat? Access denied. Scientists worldwide are calling for a social media ban for kids, and politicians are considering it. Does anyone send their child into the jungle at 5, 10, or 12? French President Emmanuel Macron said in a speech in April this year. Today, for several hours a day, we open the door to the jungle, Macron said. The French president would welcome an age restriction of 15 years for social media users. How could an age restriction on social media work? Let's take a look. Kids on social media, the downsides. Using the service is associated with significant mental health harm for adolescents. A warning label like this is what US physician and Surgeon General Vivek Murthy wants to impose on social media platforms. Well, Murthy is just one of many outspoken critics of kids' social media use globally. According to research, there are 5 main risks. Number 1, cyberbullying. Surveys indicate that constant negative interactions can harm mental health, leading to anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts. Number 2, body image issues. Social media often promotes unrealistic beauty standards, causing body image problems, especially among young users. Number 3, addiction. Platforms are designed to keep users engaged, leading to excessive screen time that can disrupt sleep, performance at school, and sports. Number 4, inappropriate content. Despite AI filters and content moderation, minors can still encounter explicit material, violence, and harmful ideologies. They are also prime targets for advertisers. And number 5, cyber grooming. Despite promises to improve safety, social media remains a tool for predators to approach children and sexually exploit them. Using social media certainly has its downsides, but some experts argue that a ban is not the solution. They can also see how social media can benefit kids. Here are the main upsides. Digital literacy. Navigating social media helps kids develop essential digital skills and prepares them for our increasingly digital world. Connection. Social platforms allow minors to stay connected with friends and family, especially those far away, through instant messaging, video calls, and social updates. Information. Platforms like YouTube provide numerous learning resources. Kids can access tutorials, join study groups, and participate in online discussions. Creativity. Social media offers a space for kids to express themselves creatively by sharing artwork, writing, music, and videos. They can receive feedback and encouragement from peers, which can boost their confidence and creativity. Banning children from social media platforms would deprive them of these opportunities. Some argue it would even infringe on their fundamental digital rights. And besides that, how could a ban work? To be clear, TikTok, Instagram, and other platforms do have age limits. But most online age verification tools are very easy to get around just by entering a wrong date of birth. Here are 3 more sophisticated measures that social media platforms might use to prevent children from using their services. ID verification. Users need to upload a scan or photo of a government-issued ID, like a passport. The system checks the authenticity and age details against the database. Facial age estimation tech. A web or smartphone cam takes a photo of a user who's trying to log in. AI software then extracts patterns, compares those patterns to those of known ages, and estimates the user's age. It denies access if the user doesn't meet the age threshold. Parental consent. App stores could be obliged to enforce strict age limits. In this scenario, a parent's approval might be required to download a social media app, for example. These approaches could work if parents, platforms, and regulators like governments work hand in hand, and if data privacy can be respected. One thing is for sure, kids-only platforms have not been successful. Instagram Kids was put on hold in 2021 after intense backlash. Critics argued children were being left there in an even more vulnerable position than on Instagram itself. And YouTube Kids hasn't gained an especially trustworthy reputation either. Many parents find the amount and nature of ads placed on the designated children platforms dubious. I, for one, think social media companies have to step up their game when it comes to kids' safety. But would a complete ban make sense? What's your opinion on this? Let us know. Floods, droughts, wildfires, extreme weather events are becoming more and more common. But what exactly will happen to your city, your neighborhood, and your house? To help us understand and combat the effects of climate change, the EU has launched a gigantic project, a digital twin of planet Earth. Digital twin, what is that again? A digital twin is a virtual representation of an object or a system. It mirrors the real-world counterpart. Digital twins are designed to be realistic, and AI is used to simulate various scenarios. Those are meant to help us make better decisions. The EU's project Destination Earth, or Destiny, could, for example, answer questions like, is this the right place to build my house? What else can we use Destiny for? Various simulations will be accessible through the Destiny platform. The app could show you things like what might happen when a flood hits your neighborhood, or how different climate scenarios could affect tourism in your region. If you're a farmer, you might want to check how the climate will affect your harvest. The Destiny platform offers users and developers tools to build their own specific scenarios. Right now, there are only a few services up and running, as the data is still being added. The goal is to have a full digital replica of Earth and all its systems by 2030. So, how will it be built? The core is a massive database called Data Lake. It compiles environmental data from major providers, like the European Space Agency, the Earth Observation Institute Copernicus, and many more. Whenever scientists run a simulation on the digital twin, data produced by the model is also fed back into the database. By the way, it's not only the EU who is developing a digital twin of planet Earth. Chipmaker NVIDIA also has one. According to them, Taiwan's government plans to use their model to predict typhoons. But there's not only digital twins of our planet. This kind of data model can be used in all kinds of contexts. What else could digital twins be used for? Here are 3 examples. Number 1, making surgeries safer. A digital twin of the human body or a specific organ can help test procedures before an actual surgery. Simulating surgeries on a digital twin can help assess risks, making the process much safer. Number 2, making your city more livable. With digital twins of cities, urban planners can test how greening and building structure affects air quality, temperature, or wind, for example. This kind of information can help decide where to put shops, schools, or roads. Number 3, making trains more punctual. Germany's national railway company Deutsche Bahn is creating a digital twin of their rail network. Simulating changes to train routes or schedules could help predict the consequences for travelers and minimize disruptions. And given the number of delays to German trains, I think a lot of passengers would be grateful. In short, digital twins are meant to maximize efficiency and minimize risks. However, they require loads of computing power, currently available only to big institutions. This is the computer that runs NVIDIA's Digital Earth, by the way. But who knows? In the future, we might all carry our own digital twin in our pockets when we visit the doctor. Wouldn't that be amazing? Ever dreamt of visiting Mars rather than just watching a space documentary on an old TV in class? Well, with virtual reality, that's now possible. Well, almost. More and more schools are exploring ways to integrate this tech into their curriculum. Tech company Meta has now announced a new education product for its Quest devices. But will VR in classrooms really become a thing? Meta is betting big on virtual reality in education. In a blog post earlier this year, they were enthusiastic about the possibilities. Of all the ways in which metaverse technologies like virtual, mixed, and augmented reality could prove to be transformative, the potential they have for education is one of the most exciting. They're promising to empower teachers with access to education-specific apps and the ability to manage multiple devices at the same time, which would remove the hassle of preparing each student's headset separately. Meanwhile, products from other VR companies like Class VR or Arbor XR are already on the market, and Microsoft has long touted its HoloLens as an educational tool. But why learn with VR? Well, here are 3 main upsides. Firstly, students would be able to see and experience things that otherwise wouldn't be possible. Tired of reading about dinosaurs? Why not just walk alongside them? In VR, you could visit any time in history, any place on Earth, any other planet. you get the idea. Secondly, immersion can make learning more interesting and deepen understanding. A teacher from the UK experimenting with VR said this.
The retention is fantastic. Once they've seen something, they'll remember it. And there's a deeper understanding because they can manipulate an object, they can see it from all sides, they can see how it works. You can have a big beating heart and you can see the flow of blood through it, and you can understand the chambers and the valves. It's literally walk through a heart, things like that.
And thirdly, VR can also provide a safe environment for science experiments that would be dangerous in real life, all while sparing schools the cost of safety measures and potentially damaged equipment. All right, sounds pretty good so far. But there are, of course, some downsides. The biggest hurdle at the moment is cost. Meta's Quest 3 starts at around €550 a piece. Then you've got to buy the apps on top of that. Schools often have a very limited budget as it is, and certainly not every student's family can afford to buy their own headset. That means that this tech is going to be exclusively available to privately funded schools. Most won't be able to afford individual headsets for every single student. Also, there's already a discussion about kids getting too much screen time. And I can't imagine every parent would be happy adding a VR headset into the mix. Besides that, there are also concerns that VR learning could be detrimental to human connection. And simple but important, as with any digital tool, there can be technical issues. This can interrupt the learning process and cause frustration amongst students and teachers. So, can VR learning really be an option? Well, some schools and universities are already experimenting with the tech, such as that English school we looked at just now. Or New Mexico State University in the US. There, criminology students are diving into virtual crime scenes to learn how to investigate them. And with tech giant Meta now pushing into education, more developers might be motivated to build educational apps. For me, it definitely sounds like a great opportunity to kind of get out of dusty classrooms and make learning more engaging. But until the prices come down, this will largely only be an option for a rich minority. How do you feel about VR headsets in the classroom? Do you wish this technology had been available while you were in school? Let us know. That's all from me today. Bye and see you next time.